What's happening, you guys? Today is the 15th of February, same day as the last delivery I did. Yeah, you guys hopefully saw that vlog already. Yeah, I delivered to the HEB two different HEB distribution centers in San Antonio earlier this morning, and ended up doing a 7-hour split. Yeah, right there in San Antonio. Got rolling this afternoon, and I got a little bit of a surprise here as far as where we're picking up from. I talked in the other video about how I expected I'd probably be reloading either at Sanderson Farms in Bryan, Texas, or at the Tyson facility in Seguin, Texas. Well, surprise, we're actually going to be going to a place that is new to me. I've heard of some other drivers going to it before, but it'll be a first time for me. And this will be to the Ajinomoto Foods facility in Lampasas, Texas. I hope I didn't butcher the pronunciation of that. I don't know. I don't know how the locals pronounce it. If anyone here lives anywhere remotely close to Killeen or maybe even Waco or Temple or whatever, because it's barely about an hour drive from Lampasas to Temple, and Killeen is even closer. So I imagine if anyone watching the channel, watching the video is from that neck of the woods, might have a pretty good idea how the locals at least pronounce it. And it's one of those words where I won't argue. Now, if you say it should really be pronounced a different way, I'll probably pronounce it that way. But, there are a lot of times where I'll see a word that maybe the locals pronounce a certain way, and it's one of those, you're learning from idiots on how to pronounce it. And I'm not going to pronounce it the way you say it's pronounced locally, because I think it's wrong. Like Milan, Missouri. Everybody there calls it Milan, even though it's named after the frickin' city in Italy, and I've been to Italy, and I know how Italians pronounce that city. Anyway, don't need to go into all that detail there, but yeah, if you guys are familiar with this town and know the proper way to pronounce it, go ahead and throw if there's a way. I don't know. Let me know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Lampasas or Lampasas or I don't know. Anyway, let's get off that subject there, right? That's where we're heading to. Now, I've been to Ajinomoto Foods before in the Bay Area, California. What was that, Hayward? What was that, Hayward, California? Just a little bit south of where Interstate, was that 580 and, actually more like 238 and 880 meet up south of Oakland. I tend to have good experiences there overall. They're pretty generally fairly quick. Now we are going to be there a little bit late. I have a 2000 appointment time. It is 1951 right now, and so, we'll see. I hope I don't have any issues there. I had to wait till I got the clock back that I was looking for, and my ELD wasn't giving it back when it was supposed to. Found out the guy who codes this stuff, who runs this GeoTab thing, I guess he used to work for Omnitrax, and he had some kind of a falling out with them of some sort, and started his own deal there with GeoTab. And he's like the head guy there with that, and sounds like he's a little on the difficult side. I don't know. The impression I get. I don't want to put words in people's mouths, but I'd say. Anyway, I was in a split sleeper situation, and there was a specific point in time where I was expecting to get 14-hour clock back and a little bit of drive clock, not a lot, but a little bit. And it didn't come back when it was supposed to. So I got a hold of our logs people and showed them, hey, I got an issue. I got this issue here with the split sleeper again, and it's not doing what it's supposed to. All right, as you guys see here on the map, though, I got San Antonio down there on the bottom part of the screen and Waco up at the top right to help you guys see where exactly we're at in relation to those cities. Also got Austin right about in the middle of the screen. We are currently heading north on US 281. I just started recording right past, just after we got past Burnett, Texas, I think it was called. Okay, so I know this street that this place is off of because I pass through Lampasas all the time whenever I got those loads going from Colton to Temple. I always take US 190 across, or almost always take 190 across, and come right through Lampasas on the way in. And there's a particular street there that is kind of truck legal, but it's not legal for through trucks. And I found out why it's legal for trucks, but not for through trucks, even though it's kind of a shortcut. Because on the 281 and 190 run together, and then down here on the south end of Lampasas, they split off, and 190 goes back over to the east up through that town with that city with the C name in it. I can't remember. It's a nice little, nice looking little town there. And before you get to Killeen. Anyway, yeah, before you get to that, when you're coming toward us, there's a street I know there with a light. It's like a farm road or whatever. And I know it has no through truck sign, and I know sometimes trucks do use it as a thoroughfare. But this time we really will have to be on that street to get over to the customer. All right, enough of that. We're 12 miles out. I promised I was going to talk about a question that got asked in a recent video by a buddy of mine named Charles Wright. A lot of you guys who are regulars on my channel are very familiar with Charles. Charles, now, let me get to the question that he asked first, and then I'll give a little background on him. Okay, so he asked, what happened to Sierra England? He doesn't see them anymore. All right, so background there. You guys know, many of you guys know from watching my channel that I used to drive for Sierra England myself for a couple of years, 2016 to 2018. Charles, he also used to drive for them. Correct me if I'm wrong, Charles, I think you spent about 24 years with them, something like that. And basically he was doing OTR stuff and had his wife on the truck, and they were trying to force him to go teams, and basically which would have meant taking his wife off the truck, and he said no to that. So he ended up leaving for greener pastures. Not saying anything bad about England, it's just what they needed for their business was not really compatible with him, or his business was not compatible with theirs, if you will. So now I'm not going to sit here and hate on England, all right, guys? Now you can look at Indeed.com, TruckerReport.com, Bonehead Truckers, whatever your sources are, and you're going to see nothing but shit talked about Sierra England. But in reality, how many of those guys' actual experience with Sierra England, if they've ever even driven for England, are limited specifically to their OTR network? Because I'll tell you, England is very heavy on dedicated fleets. I drove in the Walmart dedicated fleet in Colton, California, for a period of time myself. Anyway, addressing Charles' question, because we're down to less than 10 miles left. We had, now, I'm going to tell you, the simple answer here is they've really not gone anywhere. They're still very much around. Now, I seem to recall when I drove for them, I want to say their fleet size, according to the FMCSA Safer website. Those of you guys who don't know, you can just look up do a Google search for CR England US dot. And one of the first search results you'll get will be linked to the FMCSA safer data. It'll say company snapshot, and you can pull up information about that company or any other company that has a U.S. dot number or other authority to operate. Okay, so when I drove for them, I want to say they had about 4,500 trucks in their fleet. Now, after the COVID pandemic and a lot of freight markets started taking a dump a little bit, and I kind of wondered too on the OTR side with England. Maybe you guys who drive for them still can give me some input on that, because I want to be accurate here. When I drove for them on the OTR side, we did a lot of XPO logistics, or Conway at the time, hub-to-hub loads. I know there was a point in time where, not too many, a couple of years back, or about a couple of years ago perhaps, when XPO announced that they were going to start reducing the amount of loads that they offer out to contract carriers, and they were just going to start doing themselves. So maybe it might be like about 20% of their hub-to-hub work might have been CR England and CRST, particularly, among maybe a couple others, a little bit more, a little bit sporadically. I know they were talking about dropping it down to like 5%, something along that line. So I wouldn't be surprised if that affected England to some extent. Either way, I know England's fleet size had dropped down to about 3,700 trucks within the last couple of years. But when I checked again, while researching information on Charles's question, their fleet size is actually back up to 4,200 right now. So yeah, they're not struggling. They're actually growing right now. Now, there's a couple other sites I can point out where you can get good information. Now, I'm going to tell you where they their top 5 states where they actually get inspected by DOT at, and contrast that to JCT. Because there are a couple of websites you can go to for that information. One of them is a site called DOT Report, I think is what it's called. I don't remember the exact URL of it, but it's a third-party site that just aggregates all the data. The data you can get, it's the raw data really you can get from the FMCSA SMS page. You look up the SMS data on a carrier, and it'll show you all of the violations, or actually inspections, that a carrier has had in the last 2 years. If they had any violations, it'll even show you what the violations were, what the plate number is of the truck or trailer involved, and stuff like that. And it also shows the accident data now for the last 2 years. Now, DOT reportable accidents only include tow-away crashes, injury crashes, or fatal crashes. Alright, so that said, now I'm going to just, because I'm running a little short on the time here, I'm going to go ahead and just give you a real quick idea on where you can most frequently find CR England trucks. By state. I can't tell you by what highway or whatever, but by state I can give you a really good idea. Top 5, as I recall, I might have it wrong, and I'll give you a screenshot there. Number 1, I think, was California. Number 2 was Utah. Go figure, they're based in Salt Lake City. And number 3, I want to say, was Washington State. And number 4, I want to say, was Texas. And number 5 was North Carolina. Okay, so I said they run a lot of dedicated stuff. California, they do a ton of dedicated stuff, not so much OTR. I can tell you firsthand my own experiences driving for them. It was hard to get loads into California as an OTR driver, but they have a number of dedicated fleets that are based there. Target, Walmart, Coca-Cola, just to name a few. I think there are some others there too that I can't even. I think Weyerhaeuser, I think even has. I think they have an account with them up in the Bay Area or Northern Cal or whatever it was. Correct me if I'm wrong. They also have a pods fleet, although now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like it's been a bit since I've seen England trucks pulling pods, doing flatbed pods work. Maybe there's been a shift in the cycle with what people, because that's more dependent on where the demand is for where people are moving from and to. And I used to see them a lot on I-40, the pods guys, and particularly because a lot of Californians were moving out of state to like Texas or Florida or wherever else. So that kind of gives you an idea there. Washington, I don't really know what they do up there that is dedicated. It might be more OTR stuff up there. I don't know. Utah, they're obviously in Utah all the time because they're based there. Texas, they got Laredo. They got a terminal in Laredo. They do a ton of freight that basically will take, drivers will take their loads down to Laredo from wherever. And then a Mexican driver will come over to their terminal basically and pick up that same trailer, take it into Mexico with them to deliver it whatever it needs to go to. And they'll eventually will bring it back, either bring a different load up and bring it back up loaded, or they sometimes will even bring it up empty back up to Laredo for the England drivers to pick back up and reload with. So yeah, they're down there a lot. Dude, I'm not running over barrels for your ass. Kirby Smith. Alright. Getting pretty close here. Let me get zoomed in for you guys. And then all you did was move it and get back in front of me. Wow, you're special. Alright, I'm going to probably go ahead and take the 190 route over and then work my way back in, because it's closer to 190 than it is to the concurrency over here. Anyway, down in North Carolina, they're over there a lot too. They have a big account with Smithfield Foods, and I know they run dedicated out of Tar Heel, North Carolina, a couple other Smithfield facilities out there. I think some other stuff. I know they do Georgia Pacific as well, dedicated. What else? Anyway, yeah, so they're predominantly in those areas. Now, you can probably connect the dots like Utah to all those other locations and kind of have an idea of what lanes they tend to run. Actually, now I think about it, Interstate 5, let's say between Sacramento and Portland, I remembered I used to run a fair amount with England, but with JCT, it's extremely rare for me to be on that, in that corridor. Let's see. Why not? Let's go ahead and turn here. I don't want to get all discombobulated on which way I'm going here. Yeah, I think I wanted to say this right here was right, or no, never mind. Yeah, I normally come in from over in this direction. That's why I was getting thrown off. I thought I was coming straight in, but I was expecting to make a right turn, but it turned out I'm coming in from a different side than I thought I was. Okay, this one of these lights up here. That's where we're going to turn. 4th Street. Don't have a good visual of what businesses are at the intersection there. Alright, now JCT. We don't do any dedicated work, really. Actually, we're getting absorbed into Hirschbach anyway, but historically JCT, their top 5 over the last several years has been California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, and Florida, if I recall. Okay, this is 6th Street coming up. So, yeah, we're going to need get the next light up after that. Yeah, I see 4th Street on that next light up there. So, I'm going to make a right turn up here. But yeah, that is a contrast there. Oh, shit. I need to worry about that pickup over there. Or alright, yeah, we're good. Okay, now normally this is the non-through route here, but it is that I have to be on it to get over here to my shipper. Alright, so yeah, there is a little bit of overlap. Personally, when I normally see here in England, it's usually Coca-Cola fleet trucks. They always pull the dry van trailers. Once in a while, the pods guys as well, but not so much on the refrigerated OTR guys. I can see why they don't really want trucks over here. Let's try this next street up here. Alright, I think I see their facility right there. Oh, actually, let's... we'll turn on the same street that this guy's on, because I think this is the building right. It might be the same building right there. I hope it is. I know their lot is, I know their dock area is up on the northeast side of the lots. Yeah, this should be exactly it right here. I'm expecting the docks to be right over here on the other side of the wall here. We do have four-way intersection, four-way stop. Okay, I don't know what they have for a parking area. They got something there, but I'm gonna go ahead and park here just until I figure out where I need to go and all that. So about 10 minutes late. Alright guys, we are checked in. Alright, so he wants me to go ahead and nose into that dirt area just like the other truck just was. And what we're going to do is wait on the other truck to finish loading. Says they only take about 20-30 minutes to pull stuff out of the freezer. So yeah, we'll just sit nose in here and wait, and then they'll guide us in once the other guy's left. Now the other guy ran over the curb. I'm going to make sure I don't. I can actually see the curb a little bit, so I know I'll sidle back over in that direction a little bit when it's time. Alright, so we'll continue this when we're docking in. Hello.
Hey boss, mind if we check the back of your trailer before I back you up?
Yep. Oh, that's right. Yeah, the other guy checked me in.
Oh, he looked inside already? Yeah. Alright, sorry about that. Alright, okay. Get back up to dock 1. I'll let you know when to stop. And then just keep your doors closed from there on as we prepare your load on the dock.
Alright guys, we're ready to dock in here. We're not going to dock all the way, bump the dock just yet, but we're going to back up to the dock. Wait on this guy to start signaling me back. looks like we're good. I do need my tandems to go in that direction so I can clear that curb. Make sure my nose will clear whatever's over there. Alright, yeah, we're good. Alright, I'm off a little bit, but need my tandem's further over to the right. But I'm not going to have much room to get my steers over here to square up my drives. Okay, so they're gonna basically finish staging the load, and then we'll open the doors when they're ready to start putting it in.
Can you back up just a little bit so they can unhook it?
Sure can. Once again, this damn GeoTab is not counting my split SBs right. So you see that I got 4:34 left on my 14-hour clock. Alright, so I've been here at my shipper for 2 hours and 19 minutes. So I need 7 hours and 41 minutes total to work with on the long break. And a minimum of 7 hours of that should be on sleeper berth. Now look where we got right here. This is my long split right here. Between my post trip and my pre-trip. That adds up to 747. Should have only needed 2 hours and 13 minutes in any combination of off or sleeper berth and my current break in order to get the clock back that I lost. But I'm not getting it back, so it's, again, there's the programming error right here. Alright guys, we are done loading here. I have a little bit of a gripe though, not with these guys at all, but with my ELD. So it's not giving me back clock that it should have already given me back. I got 4.5 hours left on my 14-hour clock, and I should have been getting clock back already because I spent 7 hours and 47 minutes total on my long break, and I did the minimum 7 and sleepers, so should have been able to, should have gotten clocked back, but it's not giving it back. So I'm gonna have to shut down earlier than I want to, just to, is that where I meant to go? That's not the way I went. I think it was 4th Street, yeah. 4th Street's the one I took down here. Alright, anyway, we'll finish this off though by letting you guys know where we're going to. This load is going to Lineage Logistics in Bloomington, California. It's pretty close to the Walmart distribution center that I'm always at in Colton. Alright, just under 1,300 mile trip, but it is a heavy load, so I might have to alter my route just a little bit for the purpose of scaling it. Nearest scales are all east of us on I-35, which is the wrong way, so I don't really want to go that way. The nearest one that is kind of along my route, but I can kind of say would be perhaps the what would it be? The Pilot in Junction, Texas. That's not really along the route that I want to take. Yeah, I could also kind of maybe not as long a detour going to the Loves in Sonora, Texas, or that truck stop over in Ozona. But yeah, none of those are really along the route that I really want to take. Normally I take 190 across all the way to I-10. Problem is, 4.5 hours I don't think is going to get me all the way to I-10 regardless. And so I might end up having to stop in like Menard or somewhere. Yeah, I'll probably shut down in Menard until my stupid clock decides to give me back what I need. I don't really need to run too far before I can say I'm within range on 2 more shifts anyway. So I guess there is that. Yeah, the load's not due in Bloomington until the 19th though, so more, and it is a home time load for me. I do have time off coming up. So what I'll probably end up doing is just run it to my house, which means I could probably be home on Saturday, and then make my delivery on on Monday morning, or whatever. I think it's Monday morning, whatever it was. Yeah, it should be Monday when it's due. So I'm gonna have plenty of time to get it over there. The other option would be if I drop the load in our drop yard and do some other local work along while I'm at it, but I don't know. Not really expecting to do that, especially with concern that I have about basically family members' medical situation. So I do plan to take advantage of that time to basically see that person while I have an opportunity to. I don't really want to go into the whole detail of it right now. I don't know. It's not sure. You know what? I could have got my fuel there. It's all right. Either there, or I can also stop at. There's a place in Brady on the way to Menard that I sometimes also stop at. All right. Anyway, yeah, we'll call this a night. So yeah, I'll just anticipate me delivering this myself in Bloomington. I've been there once before. It's been at least probably a good 5 or 6 years. So yeah, it's but I've been by there a few times. I know exactly where it's at and all that. So 190 next left. Alright. Yeah, San Saba definitely want to do, so we're gonna need to make this turn here. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna call it a night. Thanks for hanging out, and I guess we'll see you guys maybe in Bloomington, alright? Or somewhere after I'm done with my home time, perhaps. I don't know. Alright, have a good one.